We're really pleased today to announce our international fixture for the summer, and I think it's a really great result for South Australia. We have a test match against India on the 6th of December, a Thursday start, which is a great result. We have 2 one-day internationals, one on the 9th of November against South Africa. We have another one-day international on the 15th of January against India. And we also have a one-day international for our women's team at the Adelaide Oval. So I think it's a great result for South Australia. We're really pleased also, obviously, to be hosting India in December.
Are you satisfied with giving up the Australia Day tradition here in Adelaide?
Well, we pitched very hard for India. We knew there was going to be a test match on Australia Day against Sri Lanka, but India being the number 1 test ranked nation in the world, we felt that was the test match that we wanted, the premium content. That's no disrespect, of course, to to Sri Lanka. Also, I guess with the work that we're doing with India and South Australia in terms of trade, it provides huge opportunities for the economy here as well.
Given that India haven't committed to the day-night, would you have been better off securing a day-night test with Sri Lanka, though, over Australia Day long weekend?
Our first priority was, if we can, and we still may get a day-night test against India. We'll know that in a few weeks' time. At the moment, it is penciled in as a day test, but negotiations are continuing between Cricket Australia and the BCCI. So, no, very much we wanted India. We're very pleased and thrilled to have India in December. It's a great time slot for us, and we're really confident we'll have a massive attendance.
So those fans that are Adelaide is synonymous with Australia Day cricket, should they rightfully be miffed at not having cricket on Australia Day this year?
Look, I think they'll really enjoy having India here. It is, as I said, it's premium content. They are the number 1 team in the world. There was a decision that needed to be made, and that was the decision that we felt was in the best interests of our supporters and for South Australia.
And how paramount is it that it is a day-night test?
Look, a day test will be successful, there is no doubt. There is a huge interest with India. I'm sure whether it's a day test or a day-night test, it'll be phenomenal interest. We're getting great attendance this year. We've got the best cricket oval in the world, and people are voting with their feet.
How hopeful are you that it will be a pink ball test? As in, where are the negotiations at?
Being handled by Cricket Australia with the BCCI, we are hopeful that it will be a day-night test. We've had stunning successes so far with the 3 day-night tests that we have had. I think people are voting with their feet, and it would be really special to have the first ever day-night test against India here at Adelaide Oval. I think we've pioneered the concept, and as I said, people have voted with their feet.
What's your understanding of where India are at with it? They don't seem to be too supportive of the day-night test.
Well, they are looking at a day-night test, and they've just announced in the West Indies. So from that, I would say that there is a good chance that we'll have a day-night test here as well.
That's a legitimate, if you're a betting man?
I'm not a betting man, so we're just very hopeful. As I said, those negotiations, I believe, are promising between Cricket Australia and BCCI.
Do you know what India's hesitant about, or why they haven't just jumped into it?
I haven't been privy to those conversations. I believe the conversations needed to take place with the Indian players themselves as well, and they were on tour, so I guess that has been one of the reasons for the delay in making a decision.
It must be pretty exciting to get South Africa here too. I think that's a one-day international, considering what we've just seen in the recent series.
I think it's a great fixture list for us next summer to have South Africa and India, 2 one-day internationals, as well as the test match in December. I think it's a great result. And as I said, also the women's ODI at Adelaide Oval, we've made a massive investment out there of $10 million. So to have that ODI out there against New Zealand is a terrific result for us as well.
I think I've spoken to you about it before, but the exposure of having India here, can you just put that in terms of what that means for the South Australian economy, and if it was to be a day-night test?
There is no doubt that the passion that the Indian people have for cricket, there is no doubt whatsoever, and I'm sure that we will get large numbers of Indians coming to the test match. There are also opportunities which are afforded via, I guess, high net worth Indians, Indian businesses. We're already in contact with a number of those businesses, and we've been working with the state government in terms of trade missions and bringing people to South Australia as part of the attraction of the cricket here at Adelaide Oval.
Do you have a dollar figure on what it would generate for the South Australian economy?
I don't at the moment, but we'll be in a position to estimate that very shortly. Now that we've been able to confirm the date, that has been, I guess, the first priority. Confirm the dates that we have it, confirm that we have the test match, and now we can work from there.
What would a day-night test do for exposure through India? People watching it over there, seeing, the cathedral and the sunset and things like that. What would that do for tourism?
Well, I think we saw the incredible site of the World Cup when there were 1.4 billion people watching India versus Pakistan. So Adelaide Oval, as you said, that magnificent sunset that we had, it was just the best advertisement for South Australia we could possibly have.
So to have that again, how paramount is it that we get that?
I think whether it's a day test or a day-night test, it will be a stunning success. People are showing here we've had record numbers. We had record numbers for the Ashes. We had record numbers against South Africa for the day-night test and New Zealand. We're getting tens of thousands more people that are coming through the gates to watch day-night test cricket here at Adelaide Oval. And I'm sure if it's a day test too, the fact that it's India versus Australia, it's the first test of the summer, there's going to be huge interest.
How many people do you expect will be watching it on TV over in India?
Well, as I said, there was a crowd, a viewership of 1.4 billion for India-Pakistan, but of course India-Pakistan being of massive attraction in the subcontinent, but there is huge interest also between India and Australia, so I would expect that we would get large viewership numbers. I would hope we'd be pushing up towards the billion mark as well, such is the interest.
From what I understand, there's a bit of a gap of international games when the Big Bash finals are happening, so that must kind of be pretty good news for all the teams really, that you should be able to have the international stars in the strikers if you're the visitor centre.
I think that's important, and I think in terms of the quality of the cricket that's being played on the field, of course we want to have the Australian players playing in the Big Bash and the international players if we can, so that's a good result. I think it also works really well for us here in South Australia as well, to have the Test match in December, then we go into the Big Bash window, so it gives us a nice spread of matches throughout the course of the summer.
Is it an acknowledgement that maybe the fit wasn't correct in the way that some players weren't available in previous seasons?
I think it's always been a challenge. It also provides logistical issues and challenging issues. I know for Jason Gillespie and his staff, we'd banked all the way through the season in terms of losing some of the key players. That's not ideal, but it's something we've had to work with. So anything that assists us in that regard, of course, is appreciated, and I think it's a good result for the fans.
Is there a small part of you that would miss Australia Day cricket here at Adelaide Oval?
I think Adelaide Oval has been associated with cricket on Australia Day. There's no doubt that we have a history. It was a simple fact that there was one choice or another, and we chose to have India, and I think that is absolutely the right choice for us to make. I think it's the right choice for our fans, for our members and for the people of South Australia.